How's things, everybody? Um, you're very welcome to the last hurling pod of what's been a very long season. Um, Joining me as usual is DSS hurling coach Brendan Delaney. Brendan, how are you?
All good now, Barry. All good. How are you?
Yeah, good, good. Kind of just winding down, work-wise. Um, Schools have lots of stuff on, so we bits and pieces here and there. It's nice to have a break, Same with yourself, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, it's been a good year, busy year. Um, so no, it's nice to kind of take a step back now these couple of weeks and
Yeah,
relax again.
yeah, great year for car clubs anyway.
Yeah,
One
yeah,
week.
still going,
Yeah,
still going. So yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, it's been another good weekend for them. In fairness, we'll obviously touch on them now, but yeah, it's good and. With the teams going well to the All Ireland final, so hopefully things are on the way up for Cork hurling overall.
yeah. Was the Cork panel named yet? Did they name a training panel for the season,
No,
or is it later on?
no, I suppose they're waiting maybe until the Sars lads, well, I doubt any Russell Rovers will get in, but Watergrass Hill as well. Kind of see how they finish up.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know.
yeah.
There's rumors of a few different lads traveling and bits like that.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah, I can't name any names though.
yeah.
I'd
I
be
know
sure.
the tip training panel was named. All right, there's a few notable absentees that we all knew about. Cathal Barrett,
Yeah,
Mark
yeah.
Keogh was there. Talking about traveling. Barry Heffernan was a big one for me.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I would think that might be the one that he could regret. He's a class player, but he's had
Yeah.
wicked injuries. But he seemed to have gotten over them, so I'm surprised at that one. And then a lot of rumours were going around about players being left out, but they're all back in.
Okay.
So yeah, no, nice to see for Tip anyway, the under 20s that he brought in, the likes of Oisin O'Donoghue, Darren McCarthy, Conor Martin, Capel White, um, what was bought in? I think Sam O'Farrell from Nina was bought in. Really, really talented players
Yeah.
that have shown, and they're under 20 next year. So it'll be interesting
Well,
to see what kind of role they play. Will
yeah,
be
yeah.
training panel. I can't see a Tipperary team taking the field without Darren McCarthy next year, to be honest with you. So yeah, watch this space, I suppose.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Very good.
Yeah, so another feast of hurling and camogie over the weekend. Um, we'll start with the Sars match. Um, I suppose high in excitement, low on quality compared to the Munster final anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose looking at the game just as a whole, I thought both kind of sets of players just seem to lack that energy that they have shown over particularly the last two games. Um, and look, it was a pity, obviously, but as you said there, no short of excitement. A great finish to the game as well, which always makes things better, and especially in those tight games. And look, I think always the hurling games this time of year, they always seem to be very close. Teams might struggle to pull away just because of the conditions and bits like that. So it obviously added to the excitement as well. Um,
I think it's the standard of teams as well, though, Brendan. Like, I mean, there's no this year, like you couldn't pick a winner from the four matches really to say, yeah. So I suppose that contributes to the closeness as well. Like, they're just four really
yeah,
good hurling teams.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
And I suppose maybe the quality, maybe we're being a small bit harsh by also saying like the quality of the opposition are just as good. So you're not seeing 10 and 12 points coming from a player who's getting five or six from play because their opposition marker has been excellent on them as well, you know. Um,
yeah,
so I think
yeah,
that's another factor. Like we saw, um, Donald Burke being tied down in the second game. Brendan Rodgers, I thought, was managed well when he was up front. Same at Myers and Sweeney. They didn't have as big an impact as they did in other games. So I
yeah.
think that factors in.
Yeah, they dealt with Sweeney pretty well, didn't they? Just thought
Yeah,
that long. I mean, he caused havoc to the Gunners, but
yeah,
look. Other players to step up, like Jack O'Connor was terrific. What a
Yeah,
hurt, you know,
yeah,
great
it was
player.
excellent.
There was a bit of chat about should he been sent off, but I don't know. I thought it was yellow was probably just a bit careless. Do you know what I mean? He's going to hook him and
Yeah,
got him I suppose the thing they'll have the regrets about Slaughtneil was that your man that was that one where he was obviously fouled. Jack hit him in the helmet, but he took
yeah,
his helmet off, so he took off the field. But then he
yeah,
couldn't take a free that they subsequently missed.
yeah, yeah.
So that's what they'll have to regret with. I don't think they'll look back on that should have been a red card. I said, look, it wasn't. I don't think it was anyway.
No, I don't think so. I don't think there was like that kind of motion of hooking where you lift your hand or you lift your hurley up, and I thought then as opposed to a belt on the helmet.
Yeah, there was
Um,
no, yeah, it wasn't like a striking action where you go, geez, that was just,
yeah,
it was only when it was slowed down that, and look, the ref looked at that and saw, yeah, he dealt with what it was. Tried to hook him, bit careless, free where the ball landed, and we game on again.
yeah, yeah. I thought like I know it was obviously the commercial decision, but I thought there was like they ended up taking them off, but Owen Murphy and Paul Leopold were lucky as well. They were on yellows and fouled again, if not twice afterwards, that were possibly yellows as well.
Right, okay.
I thought they were kind of lucky that way. Now they probably made the right decision bringing them off, um, in the end. But look, again, think they were. I don't think that Slaughtneil would be kind of looking at the referee's performance or missed cards and bits like that as the reason they lost. I just think they nearly ran out of steam a small bit. They were 3 up with 15 and 10 to go, I think. And yeah, just kind of Sars kind of roared back into the game again. And then
Yeah.
look, unfortunately for Mark McGuigan, he was just a couple of inches the wrong side of the crossbar. He could have won it for them.
Oh, I mean, even if I was looking back at it, like it was, if he had just brought his hurley up a little bit more, or maybe arched his wrists a bit more, like it looked like a
Yeah,
fella that was going through and goal, and I had a good lash, and if it goes in, it goes in. It goes over, it goes over. That kind of way.
yeah.
But
It was it was nearly the like the motion as well because he had to take it so quickly that he nearly just dropped the ball. He caught it so high, but he dropped it very quickly from there.
yeah,
So he never kind of brought his hand down to strike it. It was he always had to try to get over the ball. I watched it back in particular
yeah,
detail today, and you could kind of see his hurley slightly turning, but as if to get over it again. But it's always hard in that area of the game. You just think hit this as hard as I can, it'll go in.
yeah. It's easy for
Um,
the hurlers in the ditch, isn't it?
yeah, absolutely, yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
but it probably would have won the match for them because
Yeah, yeah, I definitely would have. Yeah, they he let one more attack go, and I know Sars ended up missing the subsequent free, but it didn't matter at that stage.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. It was a funny game in terms of the first half seemed to be very uh stop start. I think James Owens helped with that freeze. Then he seemed to swallow the whistle in the second half. There was a
yeah,
there was a
yeah, I
shot on
thought
the
the
second
same. Yeah,
keeper there. Jesus, like, he nearly took the head off and play
yeah,
off. A right good second half actually. Like I thought
yeah,
Slaughtneil were going to do this. They go 3 points up. They look good. Then Sars came back, and then they started missing. They had a few bad wides. I thought they'd blown it, but then they came back really well. That last point from Myers then was class, wasn't it?
yeah.
Was it Myers that got that last score out by?
Yeah,
Yeah,
or no, on the left hand side,
yeah.
it's Colin McCarthy down the wing. Myers got a big one on 60 minutes.
Okay, yeah,
Big one out on the far side.
that's right.
But Colin McCarthy down this side to put them two clear was a savage score.
Yeah,
They benefited really well from starting the two McCarthy's midfield. And I thought anyway, Dan Carney and Keane Darcy were excellent again. They were just everywhere. That
yeah. Is
I
Keen
don't know.
Darcy? Has he been around Cork squads
No,
or grown up in them?
I never kind of pushed on to that level. I think he's excellent. I'd be giving him a shout. Um,
Yeah,
he's so I think he's so similar to Dara Fitzgibbon, like that he nearly kind of released Dara a bit more to the forwards when they try put him into the forwards. allow that energy still in the midfield. I thought he was class again. I think he's been so consistent, so good for them.
Yeah.
Um, the
Oh,
energy and legs he has in midfield, and he backs it up with his work rate then, as opposed to just going forward. I thought he was class. Um, thought Connor Sullivan was really good as well in the corner. Just
yeah.
solid out. And he doesn't have maybe has the legs before as he once did, but like he's just so cute on the ball. He's so cute defending. Like he was really really good. I thought as well.
Yeah. I just thought that Sars were, it's like they were a bit, not leggy, but I suppose we're comparing them to the Munster final and things that they were doing there. But look, they got the job done, and that's all that matters
Yeah.
really. Semi-finals are for winning. Um,
Yeah.
they really dug that out. Um, yeah, I thought Slaughtneil would win this, just pure been there, done that, done that. Um, thought that the players they had, but I don't know, fair play to Sars, they were full value, just about, I suppose. Um,
Was that did you hear? Was that Slaughtneil's fifth loss in the semi final?
yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah,
It's
fifth
tough,
last.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
tough one, tough for them.
Yeah,
They've had some close games. Did Ballyhale beat them one year in a close game? Was that a semi?
yeah,
Yeah, I think that was an Irish semi final. Yeah, the year where they go for the double, they got to the
yeah.
football final and they were beating the semi final. Yeah, yeah, that was a tough one.
Yeah, no, in fairness, there's some great servants up there. They've won an awful lot and they still keep coming back, keep coming back. And it's great, I think, to see the footballers who are so prominent with Derry still playing the hurling.
Yeah,
Um, you see a
yeah,
lot of
and see, Daly made a point in his examiner piece about he's seen Shane McGuigan after the final whistle. This fella is one of the best footballers around, the All
yeah,
Stars. Um, but he was like he was just distraught at the final whistle.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
You see a lot of players when they say when they're intercounty at a particular code, they generally not generally, but some of them don't play club football in the other code or club in
yeah,
the other code, depending on what it is. And look, obviously they're putting in massive effort all year, and it's make sure their body is right. But I think it's great to see that they're still going, they're still playing it because like
yeah,
everybody kind of really starts off in those areas, in particular the dual areas, playing hurling football. It's great to see it still going.
yeah. I remember when I was hurling in Dublin with Bengalians. Um, it was around the time when Dublin were getting to All Ireland finals nearly every year. But
Mm.
if they got bet in the semi final, Paul Flynn would have come back and hurled with us. And
Okay.
so was it 2011, 2010, 2011? Cork beat Dublin in the semi final, and he was straight back in next week, back hurling training.
Yeah.
We won it all that year. Like, we won County, Leinster,
Yeah.
and then when he retired, he was back out the following year, back hurling.
Yeah.
Playing
It's a great
football.
boost, like, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. No, to have lads like that.
Yeah.
We club then. That's brilliant. I know, yeah. So yeah, hard luck to Slaughtneil and well done to Sars. They'll be hard to beat. We'll talk about that later on. Um,
Yeah.
the second game then, I suppose maybe saying low in quality, um, high excitement. The first game was a bit harsh. There was lots of good stuff in that first game, but the second game was definitely on the Fianna's part low quality in that first half. They couldn't do anything right. AJ Murphy looked fierce, James all right, but they got
Mm.
the boys back. The back got to grips with him fairly quickly, and then
Yeah.
Lockray should have
Kieran
been.
Hanrahan,
It should have
Kieran
been 8
Hanrahan
9 points
marking him
ahead.
was excellent.
Yeah. But going in 4 points down, you're thinking it's not too bad. But there was a win there. I wasn't at the game, but there was a win there.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I just thought first half Lockray looking good here, but they should have been further ahead.
Yeah.
And then the second half,
Um,
then like just it felt like I was watching the game with my brother, and I was saying Loughrea are like a soccer team that have dropped back and inviting on the pressure because they had all the possession, they just couldn't make it count
yeah.
until they did, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah. In the first half there, I thought Nafina were I don't know, would you call them naive or maybe just confident that they just seem to push right up on Loughrea. Like we saw Rush come out where we haven't really seen him push up on the centre forward as much and not covering the space inside. Um, I don't know, would you call it naive that they were, didn't or just thought that they'd have enough for them go man on man. But they opened up so much space inside in the Fianna defence and they got massive reward for it. Shaughnessy and Byrne inside were causing serious damage, but then like the two Killeens as well picked off some lots of pockets, I suppose, to get shots. I know the number 10, I can't remember his name, Cayman, I think he had two wides, but Tiernan was very good. Um
Yeah,
Even though Rush was following him, he just kind of picked off those pockets of space and then they still had the space inside. And I suppose again, it's something we touched on a few weeks ago when Ballygunner did it against Lockmore Castleiney. You're crowding out your defence, so the defence there that Jack Maher, Curry, AJ Murphy had loads of space before, they just weren't getting that space then again in the second half, or sorry, in the first half of that game.
I just
Um,
couldn't understand in the first half where Nafina and so on Loughrea's puck out, they kind of dropped back a bit, but they but still the two boys inside in full forward and had loads of space. How,
yeah,
how was this happening? Like it was a total um I don't know, lack of communication or just
Mm.
confusion. Um I
Yeah,
don't know what's going on
it did
there.
seem kind of disjointed or something
Yeah,
between
but
the
they
the whole
fixed it
unit.
because like they didn't lead till the 56th minute, so they left it late.
Yeah,
Uh, and
yeah,
the Currys played well. This was a Colin that was taking the freeze. He got man of the match. Was it Colin or was it
yeah.
Sean?
He was excellent.
Yeah, he's a terrific
No, it
hurler.
was Colin was on the free. He was very good.
Yeah, and I
I just have
thought,
wrote down kind of around.
yeah, I thought Donald Burke. He was quite enough, but I thought the last 10 minutes he was excellent.
Yeah.
He just what I mean. He won a brilliant ball there, in the bottom corner
Mm.
of the between the newsstand and the town end. There, caught a ball and gave back. I mean, it should have been a goal. The lad was it AJ Murphy or was it Stacey? But didn't
No, I
control it.
think it was Stacey. Yeah, he went.
Um,
Yeah,
I should have caught.
he. Yeah, I've
Caught the
written
ball.
down here just catch in capital letters. I
Yeah,
think the most important
and
skill. Like if you can't catch the ball, you can't do anything else with it.
yeah,
And if that
and
goes to hand, it's a goal.
yeah, because the angle we run, he would be catching while he was turning in. Like it was a
Yeah,
circle goal. But
yeah,
I thought he fronted up. When it's not going great for him, or he was being held. Like he won the ball back in his half back line then as well. Another they came in with a really important interception. You know,
mm.
he's a quality player. It's a
Yeah,
really good private player that it's not going great for him, but still stood up. Rush was outstanding in that second half.
mm.
Curry obviously. Um, yeah, they just it was fierce excitement. I think there were similar score lines, lowish scoring.
Yeah,
Lots of
yeah,
lots of mistakes, but it added to the excitement, particularly at that second game. Like it was mighty stuff. Um,
yeah.
and
Um,
I did think the Fianna would win it now. Um, thought they would have a bit too much, but Loughrea
yeah.
played.
I had a look back and it just like Loughrea hadn't played in 5 weeks.
Yeah,
I know they had a great start. It didn't look like that, but I don't know. It's hard to know, but like maybe that kind of just fitness or just the match sharpness for 60 minutes did it kind of go a tiny bit. Now I know they obviously still stayed in the game, but I don't know. Sometimes you look at I thought Curry got an awful lot of frees, so you kind of look at Loughrea's poor discipline. Is that from just being tired or in the tackle? You're leaving a hurley in when it shouldn't be, or you're not being, say sticking to your principles of tackling and stuff. Just a small bit tired. I thought they kind of looked like that.
yeah, possibly, yeah. I still think the first half cost them. They missed a lot.
Yeah.
Um, they should have been further ahead. No, there was no real goal chances.
I thought the Garrod Loughnane had a great save. I can't remember who had it, who had the shot. It was. it was Sean Curry or Stacey had the save, and then AJ Murphy was on the edge of the square and
Oh
doubled on
yes,
it and went over.
yeah. Well, I was
Um,
wondering what maybe he probably needed to control that and then tap it in.
yeah,
Maybe Tony Kelly
yeah.
esque, easier said than done, isn't it? But
Um,
yeah, geez, there was they got a point out of it though. Oh, look, it proved crucial in the end.
yeah.
Um,
But
so yeah, so
Loughnane in goals, I thought he was outstanding. I thought his puck outs were very good. He gave a puck out at one stage over to New Stand in the first half. Nearly the 65 was like an arrow, like straight to his hand, and like they were, um, they were close enough to put pressure on him, but it was a perfect puck out, and he had the save, and even that one where we were on about where Stacey touched it, like he came out and stopped that one. Um, and just yeah, I thought he was really really good in goals. But then the last play then when they needed a point, um, I was just wondering kind of what the thinking was. They just seemed to hit it up and hope. They seemed to hit it up as if they needed a goal, whereas if they just be a bit more patient, like it was the 1-2 with the goalie they do for puck outs, and
yeah,
it just went long and it just didn't work out. I just thought they'd work the score maybe that bit better. Something
yeah.
you do in training. It's last play, you're a point down, figure it out kind of thing.
Mm,
But again, maybe just the tiredness and bits like that, just kind of your decision making goes a bit.
yeah. So I suppose look, it's going to be hard one to call the final, but we'll maybe
Yeah.
look at a different way. Um, will Crow Park suit one more than the other, or is this 50-50? Can you see how it would suit both teams, or what do you think?
Yeah, I suppose like Nafina have the experience of playing there,
Mm, yeah,
in the Leinster final. Um, but then Sars would have played a lot of games in Park this year. I think they've played three this year alone and over the last couple of years as well. So, they're obviously very similar sizes as well. Um, I wouldn't say it it suits one over the other. I actually it's very, very difficult to see any difference between these two teams. They're very similar in the way that they play, and they've big energy, but then they have some great individual players as well that can step up. Um, and it's not always the same player stepping up for Sars or Fianna either, um, which is always a sign of a good team. I
yeah,
think I think what might shade it a bit for Sars is I think the subs they bring on. I thought they were the difference yesterday against Slaughtneil. Some of the players they're bringing on are represented Cork at minors and twenties and are really really good players. Like Killian Murphy coming in there, he came on for his brother Owen Murphy. He's an excellent player. Liam Healy got the point at the end. Um, so they brought back on the fullback who didn't start. Um, his name escapes me now. Craig Leahy. They're just really solid players. They're bringing into the team. I
yeah.
just think that might shade it a touch.
Do,
Um,
do they have is it a policy of theirs, or is it a Cork thing that they have a couple of under 18s? Is one of the O'Flynn's is a very good player, but he's minor, but he's not. He's an under 18 minor, not an under 17 minor.
yeah.
That's
So there was
but
a rule this year brought into Cork that eight. So they changed the minor back to 18,
mm,
and 18-year-olds in the Cork Championships couldn't play what we call the County Board Championships. So senior A, intermediate A, and then Premier Junior. So Barry O'Flynn, I think it's Barry,
yeah, Barry O'Flynn, yeah,
would have played for their third team with their junior Bs. He would have been eligible for that um, throughout the year. Now they didn't use him much because the minor and the juniors are side by side. It's Wednesday and a weekend. Um, but now that they progressed, he's eligible to play for their first team now. Um, he's an outstanding player. Yeah, he was one of Cork's best players there last year with the minors.
yeah.
He was full forward for them. He was excellent. So he's definitely
Good.
somebody that'll kick on in a couple of years. But I don't think he's been used yet for the first team, but I know he was called into the panel. Yeah,
Yeah. Could you see them? Could you see him getting 10 minutes in Crow Park?
I doubt it. I doubt it, to be honest. Like
Yeah,
I just saw pictures then of some players that weren't brought on that I know, and like they're excellent players. Like their
yeah,
squad is really really good. like those some of those players they brought on are just top class. Like, and they're
Yeah,
obviously struggling to get in. Obviously Shane O'Regan as well, who comes on and gets another point and could have had. He just when he seems to get the ball, he's just so powerful. The crowd kind of builds him up a small bit, and he just seems like a goal is on his mind every time. Um, so he's another player who could kind of explode again in Croke Park in 5 or 10 minutes.
yeah, I know. Yeah. The Fianna are favourites anyway, 4-6.
Okay.
Sars 64. Which is like they can't call it either really. The
Yeah.
Fianna have, they brought on Shane Barrett there. They're a brilliant player. Um, I'd say if he was, I don't know, was he injured or did he have injury problems or did he
Mm,
step away for a while? But he's back anyway, and he's if he at full fitness like that lad is, he's Dublin caliber, like he's brilliant partner. So they've that, and they brought on a lad called Tom Brennan. Near the end, he he was the one that took the shot that the keeper saved, that AJ Murphy volleyed over
okay.
the bar. But Tom, I coached Tom for about 5 or 6 years in Dublin development
Mm,
squads. Very gifted player, and I could see him coming on and doing something in Croker as well. So I suppose Sars do have a good squad, but Nafina's squad is fairly good as well. They've got
yeah.
good bench options. Um, yeah, I'm going to call it a draw anyway. Draw.
Yeah. Might be a bad one.
I'm going to sit
Uh,
in the fence. Yeah. Um,
I'd say it is. Yeah. I'd say it's going to be. It'll be very, very close. I suppose what might tell a lot is how the next couple of weeks of training goes. Um,
True, because it's not till the 19th of January. So,
yeah,
um, yeah, maybe the familiarity of Croke Park or the Fianna might, you never know, that might swing it. Like
yeah,
they played Leinster final there last year, obviously this year. So yeah, maybe little things like that might swing it for them.
yeah,
They
yeah,
can walk down to Croke Park, if they wanted to, where they're based. So, yeah, it's a kind of a novel finding. Not
yeah.
not the final you would have predicted. Maybe you could make a case for Nafina, maybe coming out of
Mm,
Leinster, and you never know. But I don't think anyone saw Sars getting to the final. Um,
no, no,
but they're there
definitely not.
fully deserved.
Absolutely,
Well
yeah.
managed, brilliantly coached. So, and see, I forgot to mention it last week. Like Owen Quigley, who used to hurl for Wexford, is part of their backroom as well.
Yeah,
Um, he must be there
he
that time.
played with them, I'm sure. I'm sure he played with them for a good couple of years.
Yeah, I think he did.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Owen was on a fresher panel with me way back in Watford. Yeah. Um,
Very good.
yeah. Um, just moving on. So I'm just down here, full house for Cork. So they have Sars, you have Watergrass Hill and Russell Rovers. Can you see them winning all three?
Um, yeah, yeah, I
I
could.
could see Russell Rovers and Watergrass Hill getting bet if I'm honest.
Yeah, yeah. They're like, I suppose it's something that's been touched on. With it's more so, I suppose, in Kerry with the football, the way it's tiered. But the last couple of years, the Cork and Kilkenny teams that come out of intermediate and junior do really, really well. Um, the two Cork teams that came out last year got to the final,
Yeah.
as well. And St. Catherine's, who got to the final, they didn't even win the Cork championship last year. So there's obviously a really good championship for those intermediates and juniors for that they come out of and that they're playing at a high level. Watergrass Hill, got over the semi final, fairly unscathed, 121 to 8 points. So they'll be red hot favourites going into that against
That's
Tyne
what is
Abbey.
that? Yeah. Or is that Rathnure they're playing? Or is it
Tyne Abbey Dunleary,
Galway?
they
Yeah.
beat
Okay, yeah.
Rathnure by 8 points.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
There was
yeah. And they find the bet
there was
two reasons
that was
then.
one
Yeah.
was that the one the sending off after in the throw in?
Yeah, I think there was an off the ball thing. There was the linesman collared the referee, and
Yeah.
It looked like your man just knew it was coming,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
that's unusual. Yeah, so yeah, Watergrass Hill and then Russell Rovers. Um, are they hot favourites as well? Do you think?
Um, to be honest, I don't know much about St. Lachtan's, but from my time up in Leitrim, Eastskey were a really, really good team there from Sligo. Some excellent young players, and just looking at the results, St. Lachtan's beat them fairly comprehensively. So I'd imagine that'll be a tough game for Russell Rovers.
Yeah,
They came over Ballinaskreen, again 222 to 19. So it'll obviously be a much tougher game in that one. Um, I'm not too sure where St. Lachtan's are from, to be honest. Um,
yeah.
but no, it'll
If you come out
be
of Kilkenny, you're going to be
there. You go.
very
Yeah,
very a very good team. Like if you look at
yeah,
your senior, there's not a lot of senior clubs. So if you win your intermediate in Kilkenny, I mean you've seen it with Thomastown, you're going to be of senior standard.
yeah,
It's the same with
yeah,
coming up from junior. If you win a junior, you're going to be of the standard because obviously really competitive there anyway.
yeah.
So whoever comes out of Kenny are going to be a very, very good team. I think was it Tuller Rosbercon won it last year from Kilkenny.
It was,
Walter Walsh's
yeah,
team
yeah.
club. Yeah.
It was
So
Kilkenny teams won um the intermediate and the junior last year for sure.
yeah,
To beat Castlelyons and St. Catherine's.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I'm sure Russell Rovers now will be up against it. Obviously, you said they're coming from Kilkenny, so but look, they've had a very good year as well. They've Kieran Sheehan, the Cork footballer. He's full forward for them. He's a big target man, big unit up there. But Josh Bazang is their main man. Really
yeah,
good player, and Bud Hartnett there as well. So they're a good team. They're a very good team. They're quite direct, but they can use the ball quite well. So no, they will be good. Um, I think Croke Park could suit them as well. They're
yeah,
and I think Croke Park will definitely suit Watergrass Hill. They're I said that already. Watergrass Hill are an excellent team. They're the draw for the Senior A Championship was done last week, and they're in a tough group, but they'll um they'll do well in that group. They'll cause issues as well. They're ready for that. They're for that grade.
yeah. Was there? Gee, there was. I saw the groups. Who was it? Who was it? The Glen Rovers group looks like a horrible
Yeah,
group, as in group of death kind of stuff. Was it Glen
yeah,
Rovers, the Bears? Were they the same group?
yeah. Glen Rovers, the Bears, Father O'Neill's, and Aaron's Own. I think
Yeah, gee,
you have
that's
that right. It's a tough group.
yeah.
The Bears got knocked out in the group last year. So what they did was they seeded them A and B. So A is if you qualified out of the group, and B is if you didn't.
Okay.
Um,
And obviously, if you come up, then you're going to be
and the Glen are obviously a very good team that came up as well. So with the Bears and the Glen in the B grade, it was always if they were drawn together, it was always going to be tough, and so they
yeah.
have.
Yeah. I know box office
Yeah.
group. We'll touch on this briefly, Brendan, before we talk about what's coming up, maybe early next year. The new director of hurling was announced, Willie Maher from Ballingarry and Tipperary. Is going to be the director of hurling. Um, just briefly, what do you think are the challenges that he face?
Um, I suppose first of all, I think the challenges are so big that it's going to take a lot more than he just needs a massive support team around him
Yeah,
to do what needs to be done. I think I would have touched on it in a couple of the groups that we're in there. Like there's a massive challenge of getting, say, your Christy Ring and Joe McDonough up to a Lee McCarthy type level. But then, your Nicky Rackard and Laurie Maher, there's another big jump there as well, up to that Christy Ring and Joe McDonough.
yeah,
Um, so I think the challenges are so big. I'd struggle to know where to start, to be honest. You need more clubs up in those areas, but you also need, like, a strategic plan for those clubs to survive. the Tonog and the Cullen leagues are great, but unfortunately they're only down for one night a week, and it's difficult then to convince them that we need another night because the football takes over, you know.
Yeah,
Um, and
they can be. Yeah,
what
I
happens in
think.
those areas is it just from my own experience up in Leitrim, like I think we had maybe it was one hurling club obviously, but I think we had 9 clubs feeding into that. So you're now trying to tie in with 9 other football managers to to allow their
Yeah,
trainings to be on certain nights that we can train once on a Wednesday, once a week. And then unfortunately, some of them decide to put training on those nights to stop people from playing hurling because they're afraid they'll get injured or they'll be doing too much and bits like that. So look, that's obviously issues there as well that are outside of Willie Maher's control. Um, but I think maybe it's the way to look at it is maybe it's upskilling of coaches is the main one. If there's not a traditional hurling area, we need to get coaches of a high enough standard to start coaching in those areas, um, and then maybe look at more clubs and bits like that.
yeah. There can be. I mean, there can be. There's nothing short term about this, and we will talk about it in more detail in the new year. But like, um, like I'll give you an example of maybe some of the challenges you might face. Maybe in not a with the weaker counties. Like when I was a development officer in Dublin, um, like and this is Dublin where it was North County Dublin, so there wasn't really a hurling culture up there. It's very
Mhm.
much a football area, but it has changed a good bit. Just there's good clubs like North County Dublin clubs that have bought in hurling, like St. Maur's, Gary's Harps, O'Dwyer's and Balbriggan, um, where we'd be purely football, but it has changed now. There's a good bit of hurling there. But I was trying to introduce kind of a thing where maybe have some lunchtime leagues on the yard hurling, because they go on all over the county. I mean, they go on everywhere in Tipperary and Clare and Cork, I'd say, or bring your hurley to school for one day and designate a part of the yard where you can just play a little bit of ball, and nobody would sign up for it. Principals were I was there to laughed at. Going, why are you mental? Hurley's on a yard, or apologizing to me, going, I'd love to do this, but if anyone got hurt, you know, there'd be legal action. I swear to God, these are some of the challenges that you might think that you
It's
face. It's mental.
yeah,
Just bring the hurling to school and play a game of ball. No. So and that's in a county where hurling is quite popular.
it's the Lee McCarthy level.
Yeah, exactly. So like there needs to be Willie needs a big team behind him.
Yeah,
You need rural task forces, urban task forces. Like there's so
yeah,
much of it, but there's no short-term gains here. Everything has to be the bigger picture. And if that's
yeah,
what's going to be like in 15 years, then so be it. It has to be like that. Um, but
absolutely.
anyway, look, we'll move on. We're going to have um a podcast about that, about the future of hurling, and about what maybe the director of hurling is going to face, without putting words in his mouth or anything like that, but just maybe about the future of hurling. So before we go, just some of the things that are coming up in the new year for all the members. We've got. I'm just going to bring it up here. So, we have got early in the new year. So we'll have the future of hurling pod, and then also in January we'll have a preview of the league. Um, maybe players to watch out for, stuff like that, and we'll do a fantasy hurling preview as well. So hopefully the lads above in Tyrone and Cahill will be running it again. And we'll have a little preview of that, maybe a bit of crack around that, who you're going to pick, maybe why you're picking that kind of player. And we'll have some guests on different pods as well in the new year too. So we'll obviously have a pod midway through the league as well, maybe who's standing out, maybe young players that are standing out. So there's a lot coming up on the hurling side of things. So Brendan, thanks for joining me today. Thanks to all the listeners. Have a good Christmas, a good New Year, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. Cheers, Barry.